Mike. What day is it, Mike? It's hump day. Yes, we are halfway through our week and into a new year. And we've been doing for the past 5 weeks the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen R. Covey. 15 million copies, 120 different languages. Yes, I finally found out just how many languages it's been translated into, but it is a best-selling book for a very important reason, and that's because the habits work. And this week we're talking about habit 6, Synergize. But what is Synergize? What's that mean? Well, the concept of synergy comes from the definition of the sum is greater than its parts. Now, let me explain. A common sum in a mathematical equation is 1 plus 1 equals 2. Now, that's simple enough. But synergy means that we create more than what we could have accomplished individually as people. So what this means is that 1 plus 1 could equal 3 or 10 or 100. Dare I say even 1,000. Wow, that's incredible. But yes, in fact, it is incredible. You see, in 1 plus 1 equals 2, we're talking about my way or your way, or we compromise, we capitulate, we divert. Not real productive, not synergistic in nature, for sure. Now, the desire for synergy may come from a need to solve a problem or from an opportunity to create something new and different. Back in the 80s, I know, it seems like a million years ago, there was a futurist named Joel Barker, and he used to ask this paradigm question. What is impossible to do today in your industry, but if it could be done, would fundamentally change the nature of your business? This is a perfect opportunity to synergize with like-minded, intelligent people to create breakthroughs. I would argue that it's the only way real breakthroughs have ever been made. Unfortunately, this isn't possible among people who hold a scarcity mindset or a belief that there's simply not enough for all of us, and that if you get something, it's less for me, and not from an abundance mindset, meaning there's plenty out there for all of us and more. With this fear of scarcity, or this fear that there's not enough, right? That scarcity mindset, individuals find themselves, holding back, hoarding information, hoarding ideas, hoarding knowledge, information, resources. In this environment, clearly, synergy cannot exist, and the outcomes are minimal and really a great deal of work to get to. Breakthroughs are rarely accomplished in this type of, culture. Organizations have cultures like this. When we operate in scarcity or in fear, we focus in our competition rather than focusing on what we can improve ourselves and how we can move our industry into the future. These are known as win-lose, lose-win, even lose-lose agreements. And they are rarely, they're never productive. The benefits of synergy are virtually limitless and are multiplied by trust. Trust is an invaluable component in the ability to create synergy. I have to believe that you have my best interests in mind, as well as I have your best interests in mind. That's trust. And from the earlier habits of think win-win, this is really where win-win is born, where it's practiced. And the listen first, then seek to be understood, right? So if we listen, truly listen to the other person and understand where they're coming from, what their needs are, then we can work together to ensure that your needs are met as well as my needs are met. And perhaps we can go even beyond that. That's the idea of synergy. We have to master the fourth habit of think win win, the fifth habit of seek first to understand before being understood, in order to reach that level where we're prepared to synergize. This isn't easy because we have to create a mindset. A true mindset of abundance means we're all in. We're not holding anything back. We're putting all our cards on the table, and that feels risky. But when you have an abundance mindset, to give is to get. That's not easy to even wrap our heads around in this day and age of we monetize everything. You got knowledge, you got to pay me for it. Well, if you can find mutual give and take, then perhaps we go to the barter system and we both walk away with something of value and we feel good about it. And the interesting thing about synergizing interactions among a group of people is they become addictive. That was the start of the mastermind concept. Back in 1989, I founded a company called Synergetics USA. And in our studies, in our works, in our masterminds, which by the way, we never monetized, masterminds were invite only to like minded people with a desire to create or solve a problem within our industry that would move all of us further. That's what Synergize is all about. These mastermind groups exponentially emphasized the importance of making sure that each person who participated in the group got more than they anticipated before they came in. Now, we had some interesting conversations, holding people accountable, making sure that they were truly contributing to the full extent, all cards out on the table, right? And they expected the same from us. We held each other accountable. But when we saw the results of this effort, the feeling was euphoric and it was deeply insightful. And everyone felt a sense of gratitude toward each other for contributing all in. Now, in my experience, there are some very important elements. If you want to create a mastermind group that really gets results, that really benefits every participant, there are some things that are, well, critical to that. And you can assess for these things, but the reality is it's not until the players show up and the game gets going that we can identify and call each other respectfully and politely on maybe not meeting all the criteria that we set up for the mastermind group. So, number one, trust is critical. We have to create a psychologically safe environment in order for everyone to be able to contribute. So that means that we criticize process, not individuals. That's really important. Number two is creativity. And this really comes from embracing the diversity of the group. We all have different life experiences, different knowledge, and being able to share openly some of those gifts that you have, then we can work with that as a team and formulate it as a part of the group knowledge, the group wisdom, if you will. So diversity is super, super important to respect each other and to have a desire to learn from each other, not be an IKEA. I know everything already, right? It's important to have a good footing in critical thinking. And this is number three, a focus on the how rather than the who. We look at all mental contributions by each member as a part of the group and not owned by any one individual. That way we can play with ideas, which goes into the creativity process. We can look at things that are perhaps absurd and say, what if? What if this could be done? How might it look? That's how we answer that impossibility question. Oh, that's impossible. Well, if it was possible, how might we do that? That opens up the creative mind. And number four is that abundance mindset, that absence of fear that I'm going to give away all my stuff, everybody's going to take it, and I'm not going to get anything in return. That's a scarcity mindset. Abundance mindset requires that trust, that number one thing that I talked about. We have to develop that between each other and amongst the team. And we can make some rules like none of this is shared outside the circle until everyone gives a nod of permission to do so. Now, number five, determination, the desire to make sure that every individual gets more than what they expected when they came in. Determination means that you create a commitment to others, and those others create a commitment towards you. That's the development of mutual respect and trust. And without it, synergy is not possible. So, habit 6, synergize. Please bear in mind that these attributes that I shared with you are critical to having a very positive outcome, whether it's in a mastermind group or a team at work or wherever you find yourself in a group of like-minded people. Perhaps you'll draw those people in. But synergize is critical to really creating breakthrough thinking, innovative ideas, and forging the future of your business and the industry that you are in. Now, personally, you can have synergy at home amongst family members or friends. You develop that trust and those four other attributes over time. And that can be synergistic, two people. But once you build that level of trust, you will want to bring more people in. Because believe it or not, the more people that come in with the same values, if you will create outcomes that are much greater than the smaller group. All right, so that's habit 6, synergize. Next week, we will go into the next habit, habit 7, the last habit, if you will, and that is sharpen the saw. And I'll give an intro into that on Monday Morning Cup of Joe this coming Monday. And then we'll do a deep dive, drill down into sharpen the saw and its value. Until then, my friend, have an awesome rest of your week. The weekend is in sight. I look forward to seeing you on Monday. And as always, lead well, my friend.